Okay. What's up, y'alls? Do you shake your martini or stir? Just depends. I generally just shake them by default. There, Mr. Lucas. But it's depends on where you work at, buddy. If you're in a fancy martini bar, then maybe they prefer you to stir it. It's up to your customer. Ask your customer. Shaken or stirred. You! What's up, Jay Sharm? I'm Azia. Panidia. I'm butchering your guys' names already. Good to see y'all. Sorry, a little bit late on the start. A little late on the start. How are y'all? How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome back to another live edition of making you a bartending pro. Cheers, everybody. That's a little loud. I'm gonna turn that down. How are y'all? How are y'all? So on these live streams, basically it's an open format Q&A. I'm here. There's no agenda other than we generally talk about bartending. You guys ask questions, I answer them. And if you ask really good questions, they might end up as an actual video on the channel. So, fire away. Has anybody got any good stories? Being in bars, seeing some crazy stuff. General questions about bartending. General questions is just, we can talk about anything you guys want, but most people that are here, they're interested in doing the whole bar thing. And remember, this is all here as a way for me to help give back to you guys. Been doing this shit for 15 years, and after working at a bartending school many years ago, realizing that what they taught was kind of a weird culmination of facts and drink recipes. I decided that someone needs to set everybody straight on what it takes to get out there and start working as a bartender. So more than just drink recipes, because there's other people that make way prettier drink recipe videos than I do. This is all about, and we can talk about that all you want. A lot of people like to talk about that. But the whole point of all of this is to help you become a working bartender. Kick some ass. How do you get started? How do you move up? How do you anything. So you guys can fire away. These live streams have a decent turnout, but they're not so crazy that I can't get to basically everybody's questions. So if you ask a question, hang out. I will get to it. And yeah, thanks, Lucas. Michael reminds you, cool dad, your one friend. How that you really jelly up. Sweet. Although, hopefully I'm not too much of a dad type yet. Still got a little ways to go. My coworkers have been too much in the lifestyle, so as of next month, I'm going to be the next bartending manager. Jay Charm, congratulations, buddy. Woo! There you go. Cheers to you, Mr. Jay Charm. Yeah, the lifestyle, right? The lifestyle, the party lifestyle, I'm assuming you mean, is detrimental to so many people in this industry, and it's one of those things that you got to be careful about. You got to be diligent that not to let it get out of control. It's hard, especially if you're younger and you're like in your 20s and that's just kind of what you do, partying all the time. Then it doesn't seem like it's that unusual, but you got to be careful. It'll get a hold of you. It'll get away from you. And next thing you know, you got a serious problem. Can you work at a bar at 16? Not specifically as a bartender. Mav Dean, you gotta check the working laws in your state or country. So generally in the U.S., if you're 16, I think 15 or 16, you can get a work permit to work at most places, and then it's just a matter of getting hired. For somebody that's 16, you're basically only going to be looking at other positions in establishments like restaurants. You're not going to be able to work in like a nightclub or like a bar that's like just 21. Probably not going to be able. Yeah, I don't think you're not going to be able to get a job there. But like a restaurant or like a hotel or something, those could be good options where you can work in other positions in the service industry, which is good because you'll be able to figure all that stuff out. You'll see what you do and you don't like about the industry, and if you even want to stay in it long term. So there you go. Lucas Michael will be ordering an old fashioned as a 21-year-old. Make me maybe look like a poser. I get funny looks when I order it. An old fashioned? Really? Man, where are you at in the world, Lucas Michael? Surprised that you're getting freaking funny looks as somebody who's ordering an old fashioned. That's one of my favorites. It's like my buddy Jason likes those, and he turned me on to them. And then hopefully they know how to make you a decent old fashioned. John Cokes, what do you think is the worst part of bartending for you? Oh man, how much time do you got? No, I'm just kidding. When you've been doing it for as long as I have, it's hard to not get jaded. It's hard to, like, where I work is such a drinking hole. So like dealing with all of the just dysfunctional alcoholics all the time is what really weighs on me. And just the kind of, there's other things that are behind the scene, but that has to do with my owner, which is not anything that would be directly relatable for you guys, but just kind of half-assed stuff. Like when the hardest thing is babysitting adults constantly. I would say the challenges of late nights when I try to have an early day lifestyle generally is challenging for me, but that's my own choice, right? So I think dealing with drunks, dealing with just your coworkers that can tend to be idiot, derelict, drug addict, alcoholics, yeah, that would be the main stuff. But other than that, it's a lot of fun, you know, right? You're going to work at like a party, basically. You're generally making cash in hand every day. You have a lot of flexibility in your schedule. You can only work 3 or 4 days a week if you want to. So there's a lot of flexibility in it, and that is one of the main, probably the main reason why I'm still here doing it for this long. Roosevelt Alora, how many drinks would you say I need to know before applying as a bartender? I've been a bar back for 1.5 years, and I know about 15 to 20 right now. You're good. Go. Roosevelt. When I started bartending, I knew exactly 0 drinks. So don't worry about the like how many drinks you know. It's more about understanding the industry and the establishment you work in, and being a people person and helping people have unique experiences so that they want to come back. That's the more important part of your job, more than like how many drinks do you know. We don't ask people when they come in for an interview. It's like, okay, how many drink recipes do you know? Unless you work in, like, that'll be an issue. That's more like advanced bartending. If you work in a really fancy, high volume, like craft bar, where you need to know a shitload of drinks to work there. But you're not going to start there at your first place. The first place that you're going to get hired at is going to be very basic and simple. You already have a 1.5 year bar back experience. You should know, the 15 to 20, you should be solid. You got a pretty good base. And if you've been making those, you should make sure that you list that as experience on your resume. I just realized I got a little bug bite on my face there. So anyway, you could work at a place where you only make 10 drinks on the regular, or you could work somewhere where they have 50 on the menu, which is a lot. I've never really seen that, but just saying. I had a friend who, she became the first general manager of this huge bar up in the Bay Area. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a substantial franchise that she's now the general manager and bartender of. And they quizzed her on 300 drinks. Now, I don't want to freak people out because everybody thinks that's what they need to know. This is like an advanced you've been doing this for 5 to 10 years plus before you have to worry about that, and you have been climbing the ladder to the very tippy top of one of the best establishments in the whole country before she ever needed to know anything like that. So 15 to 20 is what I was going to say, and go. Let me see. I have a little list of some of the more common drinks because this one comes up all the time. And you'll probably know some of these, and if you don't, then make sure you get these as a basis. Okay, so check those out. Those are some of the basics that you should know down there. Roosevelt. Hi, Major. Crazy and most recent bartending experience. Are you talking to me? Oh, my bar. We had a lady that was like in our bar recently that was really weird. You get weird freaking people in your bar. So I had this lady that came in and she was like sitting at the bar. It was almost like she was on like pills. Like you start to be able, I can read, you start to get an ability to read people because it's part of your job to be able to do this, to identify when people are getting too wasted or just something's off, you know, so you can cut them off and not overserve them, and you don't want to get in trouble, so on and so forth. But like I can tell pretty damn well like when people are on drugs or pills plus drinking. I can tell you pretty damn well what those drugs they are on are. And it's so funny because people come in and they think they're so sneaky. It's like, I don't even know you. And I can see that you're on all kinds of weird shit. So if you ever go into a place and you've had too many, whatever, party, preparatory, extracurricular activities you've been doing, if you got a savvy bartender in front of you, I can almost guarantee they know. So, but that's just the price you pay if you want to go party. Anyway, so this lady was in there, and I think she was on pills or something, but she was kind of weird. So first she made a comment about her drink being really weak, which if anybody's gone to our bar knows that is complete bullshit. We pour way over pour. We way over pour all our drinks basically, and anybody who's complaining about their drinks are expecting essentially triples like they pour themselves at home. It's like, I can't do that for you on a single pour that I'm charging you. So she was trying to get like a free shot. I'm like, nah, I've already, this thing's poured muy fuerte. If you want a little bit more, you can buy a shot if you want. And she was like, nah, trying to work. I can tell she was just trying to work me. And then at the end, she like leans over and picks up, I thought she was picking up her purse. And she like stands up and she like bumps her head on the edge of our bar. And she's standing there and she's kind of holding her head and like kind of looking around, kind of weird, like looking to see if anybody saw that she like bumped her head or something. I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I hit my head. I'm like, are you okay? Are you all right? I don't need any concussions. Just kind of joking around. She goes, yeah, that would be bad for business. And then like took off. Calls us the next day, claims that she fractured her skull, and basically is just this like bullshitter that's trying to work us for a settlement on our insurance. So that's the more recent kind of unique, crazy experience. But that's just because the person was crazy. Other than that, it's been kind of standard lately. I don't know. It's hard to think of crazy, unique stories because, again, for so long, I've seen so much that most of it just rolls right off my back nowadays. So it's hard for something to stand out. So sorry, I know that doesn't really answer your question. Golden Hoops, cocktail server. How do I get hired? What do I need to know to have enough experience? Talk to your managers that you're at. Tell them that you want to move up. Keep bugging them. You're already in an establishment. That's the best thing to do, is to try to move up in the place that you're already working. And if not, try to go get another job as a server somewhere else where you think it would be easier to move up. Because if you don't have experience as a bartender, you don't have experience as a bartender. So you're generally going to want to move up from another position, and being a server is one of the better ways to do that. That's probably the second closest position besides a barback that you can move up from. What are the best, Yamir Donovan, what are the best liquors to use for breakfast brunch crowds? Sweet stuff, coffee drinks, cream drinks. You know, so your cream liqueurs, coffee liqueurs, vodkas. Use them in, you know, kind of the Bloody Mary stuff is the huge cocktail at breakfast, obviously, and brunch. Is Bloody Marys, mimosas is going to be 95% of it, unless you work at a place that's known for having a bunch of crazy, weird breakfast drinks. You're basically just looking at Bloody Marys and mimosas. So you can have mimosa variations like Bellinis, which just, you know, or you can have fancy like pepper flavored vodka, and so stick with those and you should be good. Just chill. If I'm not a party person or a huge drinker, is that a disadvantage? No, definitely not. It's actually a good thing because it means you won't turn into a raging alcoholic doing your job, which happens so often. John Cokes, if you're in Chicago, what bar do you have to go to and where would you want to work? I couldn't answer that, John. I'm not from Chicago. I don't know the area. But the best thing to do is just to zoom in on a zip code and then check Yelp. And then whatever comes up is generally going to be a pretty good idea. Whatever has a lot of reviews is generally going to have a lot of business. But best thing to do is just find some people that live in Chicago and see if they can give you an idea. Because I couldn't tell you, my man. Mav Dean, welcome. Colin Duffy, is it normal for an interview for them to quiz you like 5 brands of scotch? Happened to my friend. It can be like if it's their forte, right? I wouldn't be like, we'll ask people, you know, that's when I can ask people about at our bar about tequila, because we're like a Mexican kind of joint and we serve a bunch of tequilas. Then it's like, name 5 tequilas, and it's kind of just to see how much they know on the spot, and it's kind of just to catch them to see how they react. Because like if somebody asks me, it's like, well, you know, if you go to a place that's like a place that's known for scotch, then you better know your shit going into the interview. You need to do your research about the establishment before you go in there. Know if they have a certain style, whether that's like alcohols they pour or beers or wines or liquors, and you should be ready for stuff like that. So if that's just kind of off the cuff, they asked you, you know, then normal for an interview. I wouldn't say it's unusually normal, no, but it is possible. Lucas Michael, can you talk about the cost to taste ratio, $20 bourbon versus $60, and when to buy them? So is this kind of more like a home bar thing, right? Because most bars are going to have a well, which is the cheap stuff, a call, which is the middle shelf, and then a top shelf. And then they might have premium, which is above that top shelf, if they're a certain type of bar. Like if they're a whiskey bar or a scotch bar, they might have some super premium stuff. Like us, we have like some super premium tequilas. Just, again, it depends on where you're at. And that will come down to the liquor distributors that you are purchasing from, which is something that your managers will take care of. So unless you're an owner or a manager, you don't need to worry about this. But if you're asking for your own home purposes, then that's up to you, man. It depends on how much you want to spend and when to buy them. I don't know when. Are you talking about like when you should have a $20 versus a $60? $20 generally basic to well. If you're making drinks for a lot of people, buy that one. The $60 one is for your own personal stash that you have on the regular, and something above that if you want to celebrate for major life occasion. Right? Otherwise, this is going to come down to your owners and managers, and you're not even going to have to worry about it, because they will get hounded by your liquor reps all the time trying to get you to buy all kinds of crazy shit. Ben the bartender. Never seen like Hoagers too is rampant in the industry. Yeah. What's up, Ben? I don't think Shake's here tonight. Oh yeah, there he is. Sorry, Shake. Sorry, buddy. I know I got started a little bit late there. Odd God, how do you open a bar? I don't know if you mean specifically like day-to-day tasks, which I have a video about, a point of view of how you open a bar. You should go watch that. Otherwise, if you're talking about like a business, then that's a whole business class in and of itself. The short of it is you need to have a location, you need to have a liquor license, and you need to have traffic, people coming to your bar. And if you can triangulate a space that's going to be in that, then it comes down to researching your clientele in the area and who you think you're going to serve. What are they open to already? What are the types of places that are around there? But how do you bring those types in, but differentiate yourself so that you're not just another steakhouse or another dive bar or another whatever. You need to be something different. And then you need a lot of capital to open that thing. So that's more like a business, you know, that's a whole couple of days we could do on that in and of itself. But do some research, read some business books. Try to get a partner that has done it, because if you don't have any experience or knowledge about this industry, I do not recommend you go into it at all. 100% do not. You need to find a very experienced, savvy partner. If you're interested in opening a bar in Bend, Oregon, give me a call. I'll be a partner with you. How do you get a hold of me? Support at bartendingblueprint.com. That's my email, kids. So hit me up. Fitzgerald Orios, what's up? Exo Vassi, take a shot for the subs. Whew, subs in the house. Cheers. Oh God, hire someone who knows a lot about the industry. Yep. Perfect. Exactly what I was saying. Let's see. Shake. How to deal with the wrong pizza order. Nice. Fucking pizza guys. What's up with that? Scott Bailey. Can tall people tend the bar? Like 6'6", 250. I've always wanted to work the bar scene, but I can't imagine the feng shui works out great. Thanks for the live streams, brother. Yeah, your height and weight, Scott, does not matter. Unless you work in a place with a really low ceiling. I think it actually is a good thing to have bigger people behind the bar, because you're like an extra bouncer basically. Like if shit goes wrong, there's been a few times, and it happens in some places. It depends on their personnel and their rules. Like some places are adamantly do not get involved at any cost. Stay the F away, because you know if you get hurt, then it's on them. Some places they don't want anything to escalate, so they were like, do not let it escalate. Get out there and break shit up if you can. So it depends on where we work, but I've been in both of them. In the place that I'm in now, we haven't had a whole lot of trouble lately, but every so often it happens. And I know when we've had big guys behind the bar and stuff starts to get crazy, it's good to have them jump out, and you know they're like extra bouncers. So yeah, I don't think size has anything to do with it, really, buddy. As long as you have room behind the bar. Noelle Smith, what's up, girl? Let's pour in some Fosters. You nice. Abdeen, how old were you when you started working in a bar? I was 22, and I'm 41 now. So that's almost 20 years, but I took some time off in between those. I did a couple other jobs for a little while, but I've had basically a 7-year stint altogether, and then a couple years off where I tried to go into real estate. Like if you guys have followed me, you've heard my story where I took a break and I went into like corporate sales and dabbled in real estate and shit, and I hated all of that stuff, so I came back to the industry, and then I've been back for another 8 years. So I started when I was 22. I'm 41 now, but the cumulative time behind a bar working is 15 years. All right. Pouring up some hard root beer. Cheers, Ben. Yeah, buddy. And there's links that Shake's always putting up. Thank you. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right. Shit. Bang through that. I was trying to answer those questions quickly. I thought I saw a bunch coming in. So we can kind of scroll back and elaborate on a couple of these that I kind of glossed over. Let's see here. So tomorrow is one of the busiest days of the year for us because I work in Del Mar, North County, San Diego, right near the racetrack, which tomorrow is opening day for the track season, which is one of our 2 busiest days of the year. This and Cinco de Mayo are totally nuts. So I'm going to be dealing with that tomorrow. This one is not as crazy as Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, I have anxiety for like 3 months out. And it's not because I'm worried about the busyness. It's just like it's such a shit show that it's just... that's how I can tell that my days in this industry are numbered. It's because I feel like... who was it? Cougar in Top Gun. You know, like at the beginning of the movie, he comes in... He's like, I'm turning into my wings. I lost my touch. Sometimes I feel like that. And that's how I know that I'm not going to do this job for the rest of my life. I would love to coach with you guys and do this for a long time. But actually working, my days are coming to an end. And it's because of stuff that I talked about earlier that it's just kind of weighs on me after you've been doing it for so long. And it's another reason why you don't see people in this industry late into their years so very often. It's very rare. So I can still get in there and kick some ass, but I will intentionally, I don't know, that's not true. But anyway, I don't even know my point. I'm just rambling. Oh, it's going to be super busy tomorrow with the track season. And I was saying with the anxiety with Cinco de Mayo. I used to love that. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be fucking nuts. I used to love that, and now it's just like the energy required to be at 5th gear pin the whole time is it weighs on me, you know. And I got it. I'll put it in 5th gear and fucking hammer through. But if I have the option to not, I prefer not to. But that's where you make your money, and so there's like the catch with that. And so I figured out how to cherry pick those busy shifts that are really good and consistent, but I don't have to just be like balls to the wall the whole time. All right, so we got a couple more questions coming in here. Let's see. Sorry guys, getting down your questions. I'm just making sure I didn't skip anything. Coming over the top here. Mavdean, you're very welcome. On God, honestly, there's not a bar around here. There's so many churches, and we have a new law, or we have a law that states we can't have a bar within a certain vicinity of a church. So I would say it sounds like you live in a very conservative part of the country or the world, which is a drawback if you're trying to get started in the bar industry. Honestly, it depends on, you know, I don't know what your position is in life or where you're at or how tied you are, but it could be worth potentially weighing moving to a more densely populated area. Somebody asked a question a couple of weeks ago about, do you make more money in the more populated areas, like where there's more population, is there more bars and more money? And generally, yeah, of course. The markets of New York City, San Francisco, LA, San Diego, any of the big cities, Chicago, or Las Vegas, but that's kind of just because it's a freak show with all the clubs and casinos out there. But any of the major you know, anywhere, Atlanta, anywhere part of the country, any major metropolitan areas are going to have more people, which means you're just going to have more business and you're going to be able to make more money. So if you live in a super rural area, part of the country, you're going to have limited options in where you can work. If it's not busy, you're not going to be a six-figure bartender, which is super rare anyway. But if you're kind of out in the boondocks of like Iowa or something, I don't know, just picking on the middle of the country here, or like Nebraska or something. So if you don't have options and you can't get a job, or you get in somewhere and you're not making any money, you have two options. You either change jobs and careers and you work in something different, or you move. So that's true with different jobs in different areas, and with bartending or working in the service industry. If you're not where there's people, then there's not going to be a lot of money to be made, unfortunately, because the money in this industry comes from the business. Like the more business is happening, Appalachian Mountains. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the more people there are in an area, then the easier it will be to find places to work, and the more business there is to go around, which is good for us. Lucas Michael, can you talk about some of the drinks on your back shelf? Are they up there because they're your favorite? Kind of, sort of. Like some of them, I talked about this one the other week. This one's just a cool bottle. This is like a hand painted, I don't even know. So Pintoresco. This is just a tequila small label, but this is hand painted, this bottle. Somebody asked about this a couple weeks ago. You're at Lupe Maria. So this is a hand painted bottle that I just grabbed. Fun fact for you, tequilas, there's only 9 manufacturers that make every brand of tequila in the world. If it's actually real tequila, meaning it's made in Mexico out in the right areas of tequila. These are just some of the ones that I have. They're not necessarily my favorites. Some of these are ones that I got from work. Some of these are just ones that I've purchased for videos for you guys. So like the Crown Royal, I did that Crown Royal video recently, but it also is in a lot of shooters. So I bought that. Jack, this is just one that I got from work instead of regular Jack. The single barrel is a little bit nicer, which I like to drink. The Maker's Mark, that one's my kind of go-to bourbon. Jameson, this is one that friends like to drink. And there's a classic shot. Macallan, this is a gift from somebody. Little Macallan 12, just a basic Scotch, and it's super overexposed on my camera here. I'm trying to get it so you can see it. Anyway, just a little basic Macallan 12. And then all this other stuff, this is all just like booze that I have for making the videos and stuff. Thank you for that link there, Shake. Same thing. These are all just different things that I have to make these videos. Some of them I drink, but mostly all I drink is this stuff, light lagers and pilsners, because I don't have the tolerance that I used to when I was 25, and so drinking hard stuff kicks my ass. So if I drink the light lagers and pilsners, I can just kind of cruise and I won't really get too fucked up. So there you go, Odd God. Or no, sorry, Lucas Michael. It's a matter of necessity. And yeah. So there you go. They're remaking Top Gun. I know, I've seen that. So that's coming out soon. Do you sell your hats? They look fresh. Familiar with LA area, Long Beach, Manhattan Beach, Huntington Beach. Yep, Roosevelt. I live down in North County, San Diego. I'm right in Encinitas area. So I am not far from you. I am familiar with that area. We just drove through there this weekend because we were up in Paso for a wedding. So I just drove through that whole section of stuff. Actually, we went up to 5, not the 405, so I wasn't super close to you, but still. I don't have the hats yet. They have the little Teespring things that you should be able to buy underneath the videos on the channel. But these I still can't get the way that I want them at the price I want them, so that you guys don't have to pay $30 a hat, because I'm not going to do that. So I'm still working on the hats, but they should be coming someday before the end of the world, hopefully. Noel Smith, no, some kind of virus. If I'm not better by the end of the month. Oh, you're taking. Are you all sick? That sucks. Been sick for a week now. Boo! Everybody send out healing vibes to Miss Noel Smith. Watching, loyal viewer. Let's see here. Speaking of home bars, right on. Yep. Thanks again. You're welcome, Mavdeen. Oh, already did that one. Going back and forth here. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, they just jumped. Second one is not going to be as good as the first, guaranteed. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about there. As well, I want to know where you think my best chances are of getting a bartending gig for my first time. Where you know somebody. If you don't have experience, thank you, Ben. If you don't have experience, then it's going to be who you know. Where do you know a manager or an owner or a longtime employee that might help you get hired? Otherwise, you're either just going to have to completely bluff, fib, however you want to call it, lie about your experience to get into a place, but you better be able to pull it off, because if they figure out that you lie and you get yourself into way more than you can handle, you're going to instantly be unemployed. But if you bluff your way into a place that you can handle it because you're a Bartending Pro viewer and you have some basics up your sleeves and you got some skills and knowledge, then you can pull it off. But otherwise, the next best thing is to start in other positions. So you start in a lower position and you work your way up. The closest being cocktail servers or servers, and then the mighty barback being a half a step away from being a bartender. So that's the best way to do it, Roosevelt, is to let's see here. I'm gonna take that's a good question. So I'm gonna take a pic of that one because that's a common one that comes up all the time. Other positions, moving up. Okay, let's see here. Wow, damn, hope you get better soon. Yeah, for sure. I saw your comment, Shake. I'll get down to it in 1 second. Used to live in East Texas. Ironically, lots of bars. Appalachian Mountains, okay. What proof on the Jack Daniels besides the Crown? Robert Sherwood. I think this is just the 80 proof. Standard 80 proofer, I believe. 47. So that would be 94 proof. So 47%, aka 94 proof. All right. Single barrel. Yep. Let's see. Taylor McLean. Always late. You know what time we started, girl? Come on now. Talk about getting beer from the tap. I'm sure we noticed some bars just leaving the glass overflow and then serving them, but we're also seeing some pour at 70-30 beer foam. Is this an establishment thing or a bartender thing? So I think it's an establishment thing. Like some places are really strict on don't spill the foam, right? Because sometimes you'll see beer come out, it's kind of foamy, and then you'll see the bartender sort of pour the foam off to get just the beer all the way up. But all that foam that you're pouring is being lost down the drain. So that's pennies, dollars going down the drain. And some managers or some owners don't like that. So they're like, don't pour the foam off, pour it, let it sit, pour some more, let it sit. That's kind of like what you'll see in a lot of European bars and pubs. You know, they'll pour it, let it sit, pour it, let it sit. And that's generally comes down to the establishment. So like us, when we're in a hurry, like if it's a, and it tends to be like if it's a super busy place, dive bar and shit, whatever, then they'll just kind of pour it off and get it to you because they just want you to get you the beer and get you going. And they're doing so much volume, they don't, they can write off a pitcher of beer per keg is minimal cost for them when they're in comparison to the profit they're making from just being faster. Like some places, if I was running an establishment, I wouldn't have a lot of problem with it. Now, if there's something up with your taps and it's over foaming and you're spilling a shitload of foam unnecessarily, then that's bad. But as long as your bartenders know how to pour properly, kind of down the side of the glass and kind of if it hasn't been poured, do a little pre-pour. You can put that first little stuff out of the spigot. It's usually gonna be kind of foamy, so you can kind of dump that a little bit or whatever, bleed that off and then pour. But I would just, because the amount of money you can make from pouring a keg and pouring out the beers quickly, I think I would write off the cost of a pitcher per keg in order to get that money in the door, in the drawer, versus just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, because people get impatient and they want their drinks. But yeah, Shake, to answer your question, I think it just depends on the establishment. But most bartenders that have been pouring for a little while, especially if they've done any time in any sort of volume, they'll know how to pour some foam off. It's not too bad. Jason, what's the difference between Cosmo and Cosmopolitan? Fitzgerald, Rios. Cosmo is just short for Cosmopolitan. Same thing. Cosmopolitan is the official name. Cosmo is the shortened nickname, basically, right? Yeah, foam is beer. It's just unsettled beer. Roosevelt, what are common questions when getting an interview as a bartender? I have 100. 1.5 years as a bar back. Should I talk more about the drinks I know or what I did during my daily job? A little of both. So they'll ask you the questions. So answer however they ask. But if you're interviewing for a bar spot, like a bartending position, then you obviously want to highlight the I wouldn't necessarily say that X amount of drinks, because that just kind of is an odd thing to say that most bartenders would say, like, I know 75 drinks or whatever. That's not something that I would say or anybody I've ever talked to would say. So it's, unless they specifically ask you, which I don't even know how many fucking drinks I know. The thing to say is, like, I have done this for 1.5 years, and during that time I was actually bartending and making drinks for customers all the time. So it was basically bartending X amount of time, so that they know that you have made drinks for people and you've got a feel for it. Other than that, do your research about the establishment, so make sure that you know. And I have some videos about this, so go watch the how to become a working bartender playlist, and make sure that you do research. Go to their website, see if you can find out the backstory, see if you can, if they're known for something, know what that is, do some research about that subject. So you just kind of want to do your homework. Don't walk in blind. Find as much information about the establishment as you can before you have the interview, and just try to be savvy about that. And then when you do your interview, try to highlight the fact that you've done some bartending. All right, guys, we're already up on 9 o'clock hour. That went fast. So I can't really go over tonight. I know I kind of started late, so I apologize. This one's going to be a little bit under an hour. Samson Spartacus, showing up party. I see you, though. How are you? So last call for questions, y'all. If you guys got any questions, throw them out now. So I'm going to have to wrap up right around 9 o'clock tonight. Yeah, thanks for coming by. Have a drink with us. Remember, I do these every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, West Coast US. Shake is always here helping me out, moderating. And this is just open format Q&A. You can always come in and ask these questions any Tuesday. Good questions I'm starting to make into actual videos. So if you have a good one, I will screenshot it and then make a video about it later on another time. So you might be immortalized forever in the Bartending Pro YouTube channel. And if you don't want me to do that, then just tell me. Okay. With that said, let's power through these last section of questions, and then I will bid you adieu. What's the best way to interact, Scott Bailey says, with a bartender? Respect, obviously, but ask their go-to drink. It's funny, like, people ask me, it's like, what's your favorite drink to make? It's like a vodka soda, because it's quick and easy. It's not... I think the fallacy is that when you're brand new, you have this, you feel like you're an artist, and which is cool, right? And you wanna like make this beautiful art for people, but really all we're doing is making alcohol palatable for people. And generally, once you get into this, the more complex and wacky and weird stuff gets. Ben, my man, thank you, sir, for the tip. I appreciate that. You guys can always leave me a tip. All messages. Sign into chat. Why is this not letting me in here? Oh, I don't know. You do not have permission to view this page. What the hell just happened? Hold on. I just lost you guys. I'm going to come back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. It's really weird. My computer's bugging out. Sorry, hold on. Lost my train of thought. Hold that thought. Oh, I was saying thanks to Ben. Yeah. You guys can always go to the super chats down at the bottom and leave a tip for the channel. I appreciate that. But I was answering a question before that. What was I saying? The best way to interact with a bartender. Respect. Ask their go-to drink. Oh, yeah. So, like, our go-to is simple and fast. So you order whatever you like, because honestly, we don't care. The best way to interact with a bartender is to get to know them personally. What do they do outside of work? Most bartenders bartending is just like any other job. After you've done it for a while, it's just a job. So most people, they're not stewing at home about drinks that they want to learn or make for generally, right after you've been doing this for a while. So if you want to get to know them, do it because you genuinely want to get to know them. Don't have an ulterior motive, unless you're trying to get a job and then you want to try to get to know them so that they know you, so that they can learn that you want to become a bartender, and they can learn that you know your shit and that you should be someone that they could think about when they need to hire someone. But otherwise, it's just a person. You know, we're just people. You just chat with us. Hey, what's up? What are you doing today? How's life? What's going on this weekend? Got any trips planned for the summer? You know, shit like that. Just talk to them about their life. Thing for the customer. Those are the same questions and conversations that we have. Hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? What's going on this week? You got any trips planned this summer? Same shit. So that's why I say about drinks. This is about interaction, people, personal skills. It's your ability to facilitate a comfortable environment for people and having fun, unique experiences so that they're memorable, so that they repeat and come back. And so they come back as repeat business and repeat customers. Most bartenders honestly don't appreciate the stump the bartender games, like what's the coolest drink you know, or what's your favorite drink to make. It's like a vodka soda, like I said, just basic stuff. Now that's not everybody, right? Some people are new and they get super excited, or go into like a craft place and those guys nerd out on making drinks a little bit more. But at the same time, after a certain amount of time, it's just another gig. That's all. We're just all surviving. LIVIN, man. Let's see here. You're welcome, Roosevelt. Fitzgerald Orios. No, I'm not live tomorrow. Just Tuesdays. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Same time and channel. So I'll see you next week, buddy. Oh, you're welcome, Roosevelt. No problem. Sessions are rad. All right, sweet. I'll see you back next week then. Yeah, hopefully. Samson, come back. Join the party again. Make the poison taste better. Yeah, that's basically our job. Make the poison taste good. All right, I think that's going to be about it for this one. Thanks go to as in what do you think is a good drink? Oh, gotcha, Scott. My personal go-to. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I love margaritas. I make a badass margarita mix from scratch, like fresh lime, lemon, orange juice. And then I also drink old fashions. So that's kind of like my other cocktail. But most of the time, like I said, light lagers and pilsners for cruise control reasons. Chris Kim, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. All right, guys, and with that, we're going to call it. Thank you for all to coming. Man, I can't even talk right now. Thank you all for coming. And I appreciate the support. Remember, you can follow on all the social medias at BartendingPro, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, obviously here on the tubes. And every Tuesday, 8 p.m., we do these live streams. These are just live versions of making you a bartending pro where you can ask questions. Sometimes they'll end up on videos. And that's it. All right, guys. I appreciate you all coming out. Have a good week. Wish me luck tomorrow at opening day. It'll be crazy. If you are in the San Diego area and you want to witness a shit show like no other, go to the track for opening day. Otherwise, avoid it like the plague. And I will see you all next week. Actually, I'll see you guys in a couple of days with a new posted video. And then I will see you next Tuesday for the next round of live streams. Thanks, you guys, for coming out. Thank you, Shake, for moderating. Good luck with the pizza, my man. And you guys have a good week. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Cheers again to all the subs. Oh, yeah. Let me plug all the subs. Remember, you can, if you want to get notifications about these live streams, and anytime I have new videos coming out, make sure that you subscribe. Turn on your little notification bell when you do subscribe, because then it'll tell you, like, hey, Jason's doing a live stream, or hey, there's a new video. So do that, and then you'll be on point. All right, guys. Thank you for showing up. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Cheers.